Two men on a mission down the rabbit hole of the thoughts that keep you awake at 3 a.m. Welcome to Dose of Dysfunction.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Dose of Dysfunction. I am your life coach, and with me is the resident redneck.
Howdy, y'all.
Well, first, I gotta ask, why the fuck do you gotta make weird faces? I know we're
Dude,
doing...
it's so fun. I don't know. It's dumb.
Oh, I was like, I know we're doing TikTok Live. I know we're doing Instagram Live when we do these, but I look over there...
Mainly because I don't look at myself in my phone all the time. So now I got the phone sitting here, and I'm looking at myself, and I'm like, that's one studly-looking man right there.
Yeah, but you make like
Break
these...
out the stud finder. Nope. Found him. You know, so it's
You
just
make like googly eyes and shit like that. You're just
Well, it's always like, okay, so I do the same thing on my snowmobile or on the dirt bike, whatever, right? Like, I'm sitting there and everybody's like, we're getting ready to go. And I'm just like, woo! And away we go, you know? I just do stupid shit all the time.
Like, I want to record it and make a cartoon character just out of that because it does. It has almost like the Yosemite Sam feel, the like...
Well, dude, so we actually, when snowmobiling at one point in time, we had the talk to activate mics and a helmet.
Okay.
And everybody would shut theirs off because I was over there jamming out, singing my own songs, or, you know, wee, oh, shit, look out, oh, you know, and doing all this stuff. And they're like, what is going on in his helmet right now?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So every time we start a live, I'm looking at it, and it's just, I'm looking at myself, and I'm like, this, I don't know how to talk to myself. I don't know. Hi.
What do you mean you don't know
like,
how to talk to yourself? You talk to yourself all the time.
I know, but I mean, I'm not looking at myself like, hey, look, you're a good-looking man. You know, like, how you doing, you know?
I know that if I was mic'd up all the time,
oh, dude,
they would turn it over to a psychologist and be like,
oh, yeah. I'd
You're
never be
gonna
able to
need
get a
a-
job. They'd
you're
be like,
like-
are you going to listen to this guy for 20 minutes?
you need a special padded room for this one.
Yeah. No, I totally would set off enough people. They'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with this lunatic, you know?
No, I'm with you. Well, mine didn't ask me for... See, you didn't ask me for a cover photo or anything
Not
like
yet.
that.
You ended it, Will.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well,
Yeah.
you're going to have to end this one when it gets there.
Well, it'll die. It'll kill you in an hour, I think.
Okay.
But
Well, so topic for today. So you sent me a trailer for a movie.
yeah. And it's, what was it? The Banana Splits, the movie.
Right, and I sent you a trailer back.
I know, but your trailer, when I watched it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny, but it's just another what's-his-face movie. I was just like, oh, man, another one.
Oh, you're not a fan.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage is the same thing in I was just like, whatever, it's another Nicolas. I mean, it looked different than most of his, but at the same point in time, you're like, I know what the comedy is with Nicolas Cage, and I'm just like, oh,
Not in
whatever.
this one, you don't.
Is it
He
different?
doesn't talk through the whole movie.
Thank God.
It is
I
all,
might be
like,
able to watch this one.
I was going to say, there is... He at no point, he doesn't say one line the whole movie. So, anyway.
I don't know. I mean, it's still, I was like, what in the fuck is wrong? Okay, so if you've ever looked, I mean, did you watch the trailer?
Oh, I did.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So to me, the Banana Splits are these four goofy ass characters that were, you know, it's a 1960s, like what do they call that? Live audience
Yeah.
kids show, basically.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's how most of them were. It was always like a clown or something to
Right.
that effect.
Right. So, what threw me off was I clicked on it the other night just as like, oh God, I haven't seen this show since I was little, and my parents were, you know, just found it on TV or whatever one time. They were being nostalgic about it, right?
Okay.
And so I was like, well, I'll watch it again, you know, and just see how different things are, right? I clicked on it, not realizing it was the movie. And I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Because it starts out all different. And I'm like, what is going on here? Did I click on the right thing? Did I screw up? And I look
Right.
and I'm like, no. Oh, it's a movie. What the hell? So start watching the movie, dude, and these things are coming alive and killing people and all this shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Right?
Dude, I was like, it was a great watch. Like, if you get the chance to watch it, it's fun to watch. Because you're like, oh my God, where's the banana split going to come from this time, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's like, you see whatever, the elephant come out of nowhere in the little banana car and run over some dude. And,
Jesus
dude,
Christ.
it's gory as shit.
Well, yeah, that's what they do. It's movies like those are the reason that children are absolutely afraid of characters in costume or the animatronic characters.
Well, okay, but you never see those as the child. Like, I wouldn't have showed that to mine. My 3-year, I'd show her the Banana Splits, the TV show, but I wouldn't show her that movie. No way in hell.
Yeah, but right now, so for modern day kids, because most of them get it, there's because that Banana Splits thing is very much like, and that's why I sent you the other one that had Nick Cage, is because
well, I can't remember what it was either. What was it?
it's like one night at. Oh shit! I don't remember. I'd have to look on my phone again.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I would have to look, and I.
Yeah. Either way, it's basically what it comes off like is. So there's a game out there called Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay, you're right.
You know the
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
right? So it's the same idea, right? He gets stuck in there overnight. Like, they put him in this funhouse type deal, and all the animatronics are out to kill you, right? So it's him.
Right. Okay.
Even
So
though,
this is where like here we have Chuck E. Cheese, right?
yeah.
And I got to thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm never going in there ever again. I will never take my 3-year-old to Chuck E. Cheese ever again.
Well,
after watching this movie, I'm like, no, not happening.
We did a birthday party with, like, Scythe, and he wouldn't get up. Like, we couldn't get him to go up with, because they want you to do the band. He's like, no, I don't bring. He wants to play on the games and stuff like that, but wants nothing to do with animatronic. My niece,
Right.
my oldest niece, who is now 22, I remember she was deathly afraid of anything in, like, costume. Like, you go somewhere. We went to anyway, they had somebody in the McGruff crime dog costume, and we were like,
McGruff,
right?
Yeah,
you
I
know,
love
like
McGruff.
most little kids. Oh yeah, no, she wouldn't go anywhere near. If somebody
Right.
was in one of those costumes, she was out. Nope. Which is funny as shit because now she loves anime and cosplay, so she's always dressing up and
right.
doing shit like that. And it's like, you were scared to death
Oh,
of
yeah.
somebody with in one of those suits, and
Right.
now you have no problem being that person.
Yeah, well, and that, I mean, to me, it is what it is. At the same point, like, the banana splits are nothing great. Everybody, I mean, if you've seen them, you're like, yeah, whatever. There's 4 guys in costumes singing songs and, whatever. It blew me away that it went from this, like, kids thing in the 60s to, and I mean, they're kind of creepy looking in the first place. I'll give you that.
So is Chuck E. Cheese. When you think about it, it's big animatronic
Oh, yeah.
things, and
The big robot mouse and this other thing. I don't even remember them all, but they're
and see,
creepy looking.
there was another one before at the same time as Chuck E. Cheese that was similar to that, had the band and all of that. So they all play along the same lines.
Well, McDonald's did for a long time. They had cartoons out that were of the Ronald McDonald
Oh yeah, you had
Society,
the
right?
characters. You had Grimace and the
Grimace and
Hamburglar and
uh-huh.
all that. Yeah, they run around. I mean, they had characters.
Well, they made full-blown cartoons and all kinds of shit for that, right?
yeah,
And
absolutely.
they were cool. I actually remember watching them as a kid. I was like, oh, this is cool. Whatever,
Dude,
you
it's
know?
brilliant marketing. I'm
Oh,
actually
yeah.
surprised it's died off because, well, I guess
Well-
it hasn't died off. It's just shifted to, you got online short and little
Yeah.
cartoons like that. But
Well, and everybody has a skit, a comedy skit that they do for a commercial, right? I mean,
Well,
everybody's
yeah.
got their little gimmicks and their characters and all that stuff, right? Like
called the
Jake from State Farm.
shtick.
Right, right, exactly.
Everybody's got a shtick.
Yeah, and so, but I mean, it also made me think too. Have you ever seen pictures of like a 1950s Halloween?
Oh, I'm sure I have, but I never.
Dude, today's mask game ain't shit compared to the 1950s mask game because you had to make your own.
Oh, that's true.
And that's the scariest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Is when a little kid's got this like bag thing sewed up and all on his head and everything. You're just like, what in the? He looks like a little Klan member. You're like, whoa! You know, dude, it's scary.
Oh, have you seen the movie where it's like 3 adults basically? They have the same like bags over their head type of thing, and they like terrorize the person in the house.
Oh, yeah. What? Oh, shit. What is that? But they like. You never find out at the end of the movie who they are.
Yeah, it never tells you, and they
like you have an idea of who they like. It was this family or something. You have an idea of
but they're pretty random.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
At the end, it doesn't give you any answers. It's just like straight the end. And
you're like
huh,
they terrorize.
No, I need to know. I need to.
Because they kill the people, right? They end up killing the people.
Yeah, I think they do. I think they leave
terrorize.
one of them. I thought there was one person that survived the whole thing.
Maybe, but yeah, when they leave and it's. You expect that they should be connected, or it should be like this weird, and they just don't explain it.
The cops show up and kill them or something. Yeah, I mean, you expect a resolve, and in the end, you're like, oh my god, these people could come to my freaking house because they never got caught, you know. And you're like, oh shit.
I think those people make up like there was a show that was on called I Survived. I
Survived. Isn't that like?
I don't remember what channel it was on or what, but yeah, it was a series called I Survived, and they would go through like people who, and it wasn't just like, oh, I survived a tornado, right? Not saying that that's an accomplishment, but it was like I survived somebody trying to kill me, like or being, you know, like.
Well, I think there was the one about the child trafficking deal or whatever, where it was like I survived this, and they, you know, get her back with her family and all that kind of stuff. I get that. That's severe stuff. This isn't a movie, okay? It's totally, kind of totally different, but at the same point in time, it's like they don't give you an end. There's no end to it. It's left open.
Yeah, no, totally.
The next one of that movie could be at my house or your house. That freaks me out. When there's no closure at the end of these things, I'm like, uh-oh.
Well, right.
That's what gets in your head, and I'm really surprised they don't have more of those.
Well, and it's always my wife loves horror movies.
Right.
But not...
Mine does not.
Well, so the weird thing I've always found odd, though, as much as she doesn't like gore. Like, so one like that...
Oh, really? She doesn't like the blood and the
No,
killing
she's
people?
not. It's more the... she likes the ones that are truly scary because it's less... so, like, there was the one that I think Eli Roth did where, like, Tourista or something like that, or Hostel, where she doesn't like the torture gore, where they
torture porn?
Basically, yeah. She's not into that. She likes she'll put up with the gore and, like, Saw and stuff like that because of Saw has, like, a story to it. There's something more to it. There's more suspense to it and twists, right? It's not just...
Well, it's random, I think, is the big thing with Saw.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't watch Saw because, to me, it's stupid.
Oh, see,
to me, that's another one of those just, whatever, cut a bunch of people up types of thing. That one, to me, is like, okay, I would use that to torture somebody.
Right.
Well,
she's had me watch a few, and a few of them have been foreign. And the foreign ones, fucked up and scary. Because
because in America, we're all a bunch of sensitive-ass puss cakes.
But there's quite a few of the foreign ones that are just like that. It's like these people buy a house or just move somewhere, and they're out in the countryside or away from.
And that's the part that gets me too. Is it's always in some little old country house in the middle of a cornfield somewhere.
Yeah, but that makes total sense because think of it in terms of this in the city, right? If you start doing that, you made enough racket. Your neighbors, there's people driving by. It's not
somebody's gonna notice something. Yeah,
yes,
I get that.
It's much harder to pull off. It's much more scary.
You could still do it in a neighborhood setting, but in a big city, you're gonna be because it's all apartments and shit like that. I get it.
Yeah,
I do. I feel like it's a cliche. Can somebody grow something other than fucking corn? Do a pumpkin patch. Maybe fucking jack-o'-lantern guy. You know what I mean? Like, do something
getting
different.
Caught in the cornfields. No,
yeah,
I get that.
I mean, That's when they're all cookie cuttered to the point where it's like same thing, same premise, same plot line, same all the shit, different person dies, different blood, different whatever.
Yeah, you have like the house on the lake and shit like that, show or the people at the end of the way or however they want to put it. There's something to that effect. But no, it's more scary in the fact that
I think the more real you make it, the scarier, like the more, like you could cut up 1 billion people and show all the blood and all the, all the torture and whatever. And nowadays it's, half-naked woman that gets cut up or,
yeah,
whatever.
It gets super cliche in the fact that you're like, okay, oh, that one's first. It's the dumb bimbo who sleeps with everyone.
Exactly.
And then
there's always the one black guy who ends up getting killed, and there's always the one foreign kid who gets like he doesn't even know what's about to happen, and it happens, and so like it never even scared him or anything. It's done.
Yeah, you'll have the dumb frat boy jock that right?
Yep.
And it's then
who's dating the bimbo who died in the first.
Yeah, and then somewhere
the whole
in
thing
there
behind
the
Scream.
Yeah.
Or Scary Movie.
Yeah, the good
where they're
virgin
like,
survives, right? And her love interest,
Yeah.
may
They're
or
all
may
just
not
love
make
stories.
it. Yeah, really horrible
Ultimately.
ones. Well, so going back to like what my wife would have us watch is several of them are like, or not that way, but more in the terms of the ones where somebody shows up, it's like the hill people.
My people.
Yeah. The hill people show up and they oh shit, what's the right way? They kind of, they're scratching on the windows and they have you trapped in. I think for most people it's that fear of they have you trapped in your own home. Right?
Yeah.
There's
nowhere to go.
Right.
You can't just run outside. Something drags you back through. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the more real. Oh God! Somebody just joined. I thought it said "fuck." I was like, "What? I want that name."
No, I think they're whatever. But when you put your name underneath of it, like you got user 23698, but they call you. You can put They'll put "fuck" in there or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's FUCT.
Fucked.
Dot 2.
Fucked.
Liking it, brother. But no, I would agree. It's that trapped you at home. It makes it real.
Yeah, it plays on your.
Well, that's why I like that. I think it was The Exorcist or some shit. I don't no, the Paranormal Activities.
Right.
Because there aren't like immediate definite. Oh, there's fishing line strung to all those cupboard doors or what. I mean, there's no like reason as to why that couldn't happen in your house. And I'm going to tell you right now, funky shit happens all the time. I think it's just the earth fucking with people. But
it might be.
Like I've seen doors shut and I'm like, okay, this house isn't level. Because that's where I immediately go to because it's like, I don't want to believe that some weird spirit just slammed that fucking door in my face.
Right.
So it's like, well, house isn't level.
House is settling. Why does it feel like an earthquake?
Yeah.
Like, what's that movie, Cloverfield, where they're like underground? It's one of those things you don't know what's outside, but it's almost scarier being trapped underground with somebody you don't know.
See, I don't know. I feel like it would be scarier to be trapped in a situation like this with somebody you know, but you know they're capable of not doing anything worth a shit. Not like they're not going to help.
Well,
they're going to panic and sit over there and cry, and now you're really in trouble because now you're doing all the work by yourself. So you know you're going to be twice as tired, and twice as screwed over, and it's scary already. And now they're crying, so it's like you don't have anybody to watch your back, right?
But you don't
random
know
stranger,
if you
can pep talk them.
You don't know if you can trust the random stranger.
This is true. But what else do you have? I mean, at some point in time, you could just die anyways, right? So why not trust them for 10 minutes and see if they're going to be the one that kills you? Fuck it. See how far this plays out.
Because it goes back to the devil you know. Well, most everybody will take the devil they know over the devil they don't.
I would almost prefer to go by myself.
Well,
Have either one of them, man. I, mean,
I
it's
look
like,
at it this way:
shit.
if you know that they ain't gonna do shit, they can be the sacrificial lamb. I'm taking them along, and I'm gonna be the asshole that pushes them in front.
Yeah, I don't have to be faster than the bear. I just have to be faster than you.
Right? Exactly.
No, that's yeah. I would agree. That's
The freight train's coming. You're
oh
gonna
my
be the
God.
one standing
Let's
on the
hide
track.
behind the wall of chainsaws. Fuck that! I'm gonna stick you with a chainsaw, and I'm gonna keep running.
Yeah, that commercial's great. The running car. Yeah, let's not go to the running
Yeah,
car.
let's not get in the running car. Let's hide behind the chainsaws.
At that point, you deserve to die. Like,
Right?
you asked for it.
By the way, I watched Varsity Blues again the other day just because I. So where does that rank in your opinion as like football speeches? That last game, that last half where they kicked the coach out and everything else, right?
Oh, it's a top 5 for sure.
Top 5?
Yeah,
Okay.
dude, I absolutely love Varsity Blues. Probably, for me, Varsity Blues is one of my top 5 favorite movies. I absolutely
Yeah, I know
love that.
for you and it's a great movie.
And it's
I'm
not even the
gonna-
whipped cream bikini.
Yeah, right. Oh, let me guess. You seen her whipped cream bikini?
Right.
Like, oh,
I get that.
shit. And you see and the funny part too is he's like, you can almost visibly see him sweat
Well, that
when he has
was
to answer that question.
early Paul Walker, though. That was like the beginning for him. you know?
When the I can't remember the other kid's name. When Mox.
Oh, Vanderbeek?
Yeah. When he has to answer, no, because she's like, oh, well, let me guess, you seen her in her whatever bikini, and he's like,
No.
no.
Yeah.
You can almost see him start to visibly sweat. And I'm like, them playing it out was so good. They did so well at just their facial expressions, their emotional expressions in the movie. It's pretty awesome. Like Billy Bob, dude,
Oh, dude,
that is
with
by
this-
far the best character.
The stripper
Ever.
teacher? I give it a 10.
I give it a fucking 10.
Yeah. No, that's...
You remember the conversation we had, boys? Do you not like me? And like, whoa.
Yeah. No, it's... That movie, I think, is... As a... I don't know what you want to call it, but
Okay,
it ranks
so
up there.
well, because that's where I was going. I've had a lot of time recently to watch movies
Right.
because
It goes back to the line, though, I use all the time. I don't want your life.
whatever. But I've had a lot of time to watch these movies now, right? And so that was the one because now I've made it kind of off of the comedy. I hit this really weird stage of comedy horror film, and I was like, what the fuck? And so finally I was like, I gotta get off of this.
Right.
So I mind fucked myself into watching Varsity Blues again because I was like, okay, well, we'll start watching the sports movies now, right?
Ooh, you know when you gotta go back and watch? The Program.
The program. I don't know if I watched.
You probably haven't, because the Program would have... Yeah, you probably haven't, because when the Program came out, you were probably like 3.
Yeah, but you say that all the time. I used to watch the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah, but...
That was way before my time.
Yeah, the
I like to
Program
watch
was...
those old weird, those old things that nobody wants to watch anymore.
Programs was like an early 90s football film. They had to, they pulled a scene out of it, at least in the theaters. I think it's still, well, I saw it in the theaters, but I don't know if it's on the recorded version. I used to have it where...
I think it's funner to make a face at the thing and see if you caught it.
Fuck. Give him a camera, he'll be a clown.
Oh my god, I'm a goofball.
Yeah. No, there's a scene in there that got pulled because people tried doing it. The typical they see it. Well, the quarterback who's got all the issues, right? He's, that's what the story revolves around. Well, and one of them also has a little bit of a drinking problem.
Well, right. Yeah.
So he, at one point, he goes.
Well, I mean, Varsity Blues, the whole fucking team has a drinking problem.
Right. Well, this one's a college. This talks about college.
Ah.
This is like Omar Epps is in this, and this is like a young Omar Epps. Anyway, it's it's a good flick. The quarterback goes and walks out basically in the middle of traffic and lays down on the stripe in the middle of there. Yeah, and like kicks his feet up like almost like he's about to do a crunch, and then he just starts reading a magazine because he's a potential like Heisman guy and he can't handle the stress kind of thing, right? So
Jesus Christ.
And then the guys he's on the team are like, he's making us look like a bunch of pussies, so they all have to run out in the street and do it.
He's making us look like a bunch of pussies. That's fucking hilarious. No,
Well, they had to pull the scene because people started fucking doing it, and then all it takes is one kid to get run over.
Right. I didn't do that on purpose, but last year at hunting camp, okay, where we were staying across the street from the bar, okay, was like, I don't know, maybe a football field, maybe, right? So we would walk from where we were at to the bar, get
Absolutely.
shit-faced, walk back, right?
Yeah.
We got a little too shit-faced one night, okay? It took me 45 minutes. If you've ever walked a football field, it should not take you 45 minutes to go 100 yards. It took me 45 minutes. 30 of those, I took a nap in the middle of the highway, okay? Highway through this town. Nobody hit me.
That's impressive.
I highly doubt anybody went through there.
Probably not, or else you would have run the fuck over.
I'd be flat.
Yeah.
But literally fell down on the center line, tits down on the asphalt right there, and slept for a half hour. Then got up because it was raining and I finally got wet and finished my 100-yard dash to the apartment complex, passed out, and I was like, I woke up the next morning and I'm like, I think I slept in the middle of the road.
Jesus Christ. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it was bad, man. I mean, it was like bad. And I was like, no, we shouldn't do that anymore. So now we stay on the other side. We stay on the same side of the road.
Yeah, so you can just walk.
I don't have to cross the highway.
Yeah, that's probably a good
Shit-faced.
idea. Yeah, fuck. Well, the program, this has everything, though. You have the guy who wasn't quite there defensively, so he starts taking steroids, right? It gets him over the top, so he makes the starter, right? They list, like, who's starting. They release the lineup before the season starts, or right before the first game, and he makes it, so they got the juiced out guy. He runs into the parking lot, and he starts he literally, like, headbutts and slams his head through a couple car side windows because he's so jacked up and so roided out.
Job, or?
That he got, well, this is college. It's not even he got the job. He just got to be a starter, right?
Well, they call it getting the job.
Yeah. So it was there. Oh, there's one scene in there with him where hit him so hard you see the snot bubbles, right? So, yeah.
You got knocked the fuck out.
Basically, like, rips the face mask. I mean, he's the roided out, goes nuts, and then he gets busted for it and has to take the P test, and he's not as good anymore, and and then you've got the Omar Epps character. He's like the black kid from the wrong side, or he's the hype, right? The young kid in that. Well, he has an issue where he fumbles. Like, he fumbles a few times, so they give him the ball.
Oh, is this the guy that puts the stickum on his gloves and shit?
No, he doesn't put stickum on his gloves.
There's one of those where they put stickum on the receiver's gloves, and he like can't separate his hand from the ball. Oh, what is it's the one where they had the walkout in the NFL.
Oh, the replacements.
The replacements, yeah.
No,
they like put the stickum on his gloves and like can't let go of the ball, and he's like, oh shit.
Well, this one's kind of like, this is like a quote unquote serious movie. It's not a comedy by any means. But one of the great scenes, so they make Omar Epps, he's got to walk around with the football, right? And it's the job of everybody on the team, as he's walking around with this thing on the campus, is they're trying to take it away. Because if anybody returns the ball back to the coaches but him, he's fucked.
Okay.
So he's sitting in class, right? And he's got the ball kind of, and somebody, like, pops the ball out. And there's, like, probably at least 5 or 6 other guys from the team. And the ball goes shooting down the aisle. And it's all of them, like, this professor's trying to teach. And winds up being this huge dog pile. And out pops Omar Epps from the bottom of the pile with the ball. Like, and then you just see him the rest of the time, like, back in his chair holding,
So here's my question. I'll lead to this because My question is, what is the number one pep talk in a movie, like in a football movie? What's the number one halftime pep talk? For you, and I'm not saying like it has to be any kind of thing, but I know you've watched.
I've watched a lot,
A lot
and
of them.
I'm trying to remember. I mean, Mox's pep talk is one of the best.
Oh, dude, it's right there.
Yeah, it's got to be
legit.
it's got to be one of the best. I think Pacino has one. I think in that's pretty decent in one of the shows. The one where Jamie Foxx. Did you ever watch that one?
Was it
Any Given Sunday?
Oh, yeah. Well, see, and I think he actually does a really good job in that, in that role as that kind of a guy.
And if I remember correctly, so in Any Given Sunday, when Jamie Foxx and LL Cool J got in a fight, because there's a scene where they get in a fight, they actually got in a fight. Like, it wasn't a scripted scene.
Oh,
like
it
they
was
were
a
supposed.
legit
They
thing?
actually got in a fight, which is kind of amazing with actors that they can have that beef with each other. They can get in a fight but stay in character, so it's a totally unscripted moment in the deal, which was perfect. I mean, it fit the scene,
Right.
But afterwards, that's not how the scene was supposed to go. They actually got in a fight, which was anyway. It was kind of funny. I'm trying to think. What are the best? I mean, Remember the Titans. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you have your like top few. Remember the Titans.
yeah, and then I would say, I guess I'll probably go with Varsity Blues because you get an actor like Denzel Washington, right? He's kind of got the clout, or a Pacino, where those guys start doing that speech, and that's who they are. But like a James Vanderbeek doing it, you're like, oh, well, shit, that's not the guy I would expect to give this speech. That's not the.
We keep losing connection.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
He's not. Your battery is less than 20%, by the way.
On my phone?
Uh-huh.
Oh, whatever.
It happens. But I'd probably go with the Vanderbeek one. I'm trying to think of all the different ones I've heard, and I've seen so many.
I think one of my favorite lines is "I only scratch my head when it itches." out of those, and it's the Denzel Washington. It's the Remember the Titans. It's like, I only scratch my head when it itches, and I'm like, that is fucking perfect advice,
No,
But I mean, hey, to each his own. But I got to watching it, and I was like, I love that dog. That's a pig.
I
Yeah.
know.
Dude, Billy Bob is one of my. That is like I again, fuck Texas, but that was like he's the iconic
I just think
corn-fed, jacked up 70s era, 80s era Chevy pickup. Got his name on the door, has bacon on the other door. It's got his number, 69, on the door, and I'm like, that is your everyday Texas high school kid right there.
I just think they did such. The reason I like Varsity Blues so much is because I just think they hit every nail, and there's so many great one-liners. When he steals the cop car and he run,
Yeah. Hey, Mox, get in here. Get
Yeah.
naked. Get in the car.
right? When he's running with his hat over, I'm going to jail. She looks like she fell out of I Want to Suck Your Dick tree and hit every branch on the way down. Yeah. I mean, there's so many lines you pull out of that movie that everybody, if you've seen it, everybody knows. So I just think to me, that's one of just those movies that there's too many good one-liners.
Yeah. There's a lot of good one-liners in it.
So I just think, because literally when that came out, I didn't really know what it was. I don't even know why I went to go see it, but I ended up going to see it. Maybe I saw the preview. I probably watched it in the theater like 7 times.
Oh, Jesus.
And then, it wasn't even just oh yeah, I like that movie. No, I was obsessed with that movie. So for me, it's a top fiver.
I think one of so like all-time favorite movies, and again, I'm a car guy, so I have movies that for me it's like they're car movies, man. I mean, you just can't. Gone in 60 Seconds is like the car movie.
Oh yeah, I love it. I'm surprised
It's
you're
a great
going to
movie.
say that because it's got Nick Cage in it.
I know, and that's the one. I'm like, great. This could have been better, but no, and he does a great job in that movie. And I also think that it's before he gets his like, I don't know, it's before he's this national treasure guy.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's right smack in the middle of his rise, where he started doing, because Nick Cage had a run there. He had Con Air and like Face Off, right? And so that kind of gave him run. And then you get Gone in 60 Seconds, which I think is like the pinnacle. And then you start the other slide where they just start piling with National Treasure.
And here's where I get to the same point with actors. It's like, stop playing the same roles. Unless you're like the best, right? Like, don't be the same character through every movie you do. Unless you're that one guy who's known for that thing, like Jason Statham, right?
Yeah,
He's the badass, the like always intense, always this crazy,
Yeah, but what people don't realize is before he did all that, he did probably
he did the lesser aggressive ones.
Okay, so this one ranks so that in my top 5. This one ranks in the top 5 too. Shit, now I just lost the name of it. It's an early Jason Statham, and Brad Pitt's in it, and Guy Ritchie directed it, and you need to pull it up on your computer because it's Snatch.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay, Snatch, top 5 movie for me. Absolutely fucking love
That's
that
a good movie.
I mean, but Jason Statham's one of the main characters, but he's not the
super
badass.
aggressive, and But it's funny because as like he got more of these the badass roles, that's just kind of who he is now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Crank was
super intense.
Well, yeah, because it goes. That's one of those movies that just goes.
Yeah.
I mean, it matches the intensity of what they're trying to get across. That movie is.
Oh yeah. Well, and I mean, he's so intense, and you're just like, oh my God, what is he gonna do now? Oh my God, he just beat that guy. Oh my God, you're just like constantly like, and it doesn't even for him. It's not even all that action, but he makes it that. Like he brings. So he's that guy now, right?
Right.
It's kind of like The Rock. He's the funny part is I just watched the movie with him and the other, I can't remember the other guy now.
Kevin Hart?
No.
Well, I was
no,
say he's
not
done a lot.
Jumanji, but the one where he's the thief.
Is it Sean William Scott?
No.
Or Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
Right.
I just
I don't
watched
know
that.
why I could see his face. I couldn't think of his name, but I just watched the movie with those two in it, and he actually plays a different character, and I'm like, oh, okay, now we're gonna be a little bit more diverse on who you are, because normally he's the muscle-bound cop,
the good guy.
He's always the good guy,
and he's a little goofy in everything he does. He's and it's the same, not to the same level. Obviously, Ryan Reynolds has pulled it off for much longer, but yeah, Ryan Reynolds has that.
He's the bad guy, but you can't help but love him,
right?
You're
and that's
like, go good guy. Oh, I could be a villain today,
Dude, I'm telling you, if The Rock ran for president, I think he'd win.
Hey, whatever.
I'm just saying. I really think he would. There was another movie in there. Yeah, there's Snatch. Oh, other great movie. If you haven't watched it, you got to watch Seven Psychopaths.
Oh, I don't think I've watched that.
Oh my God, you have to watch Seven Psychopaths. That is so. Out of top 5 movies, I've got Snatch, I've got Varsity Blues, and I have Seven Psychopaths somewhere in there. And actually, Gone in 60 Seconds probably pulls in there. So there's 4 of my top 5 movies. But
right.
If you haven't seen Seven Psychopaths, it's amazing, and it's got Christopher Walken.
Which until he went nuts was
No,
a hilarious
he's
guy.
Okay, so
So
you're gonna watch
Wedding Crashers, right? I watched it again the other day, and I totally forgot that he was in it. And he has a very, like, just
Yeah,
he has a good guy role in that, you know, and he's the dad and everything to the crazy people, you know. And the one character that just cracks me up is the son, is because he plays the secretary, right? And his son is this like emo, gay, you know,
yeah.
character, and I was like, he's like, he paints homo stuff or whatever, and then they're at the dinner table, and he's like, I'll be in my room painting homo things. I'm like, oh my god, I died, man, I died so bad. But you know, he is kind of like, I always look for the actors that are like Johnny Depp. He can play whatever role you were to throw at him.
Yeah, I think Christopher Walken can do the same thing.
Exactly.
But that's why I'm telling you, you have to watch Seven Psychopaths, because his role in that is brilliant, and he probably comes off of, by the time you watch it at the end, like, to me, he comes off as the most badass guy ever. By the time you see it clear to the end, he's like the aspiration of, if I was going to be a badass, this is the guy I want to be. This is exactly how I want to do it. He's
right.
You go, oh my God, he's fucking amazing. So I can't believe you haven't seen it. Anybody who hasn't seen it, you got to go watch it. That's your assignment. I'm giving you homework from the podcast.
That's why I sent you the Banana Split one, because it's so fucked up and so weird, and it's just, you wouldn't expect it.
Right.
You know, like, if you've ever watched the Banana Split episode ever, you're just like, oh, it's these goofy characters, and they, you know, do this stuff. And then all of a sudden it's like, you're watching it, and then they go ominous, and you're just like, what is wrong with these things, you know? And the show must go on, and they're canceling the show, and now these animatronic robots are killing people, and they save all the children, and they, you know, put the children in this little area underneath the studio where they're killing people and all this, and you're just like, oh my God, you know, like, you're just, and they make the kids watch two of these animatronic characters rip this guy's arms and legs off, and you're just like, oh my God.
So how traumatized do you think child actors are? Right.
Well, and
think about it.
You had to play this character.
Right.
Yeah.
You had to be this character. You had to be in this, in a movie that you're not even allowed to go see.
Oh, I know, right? Like,
know,
dude, horrible.
You're a character in a movie that they wouldn't let you in the theater to watch.
Right.
How does it kind of fuck your brain up?
Yeah, dude. That's got to be. And everybody wonders why they get into drugs and everything else, and it's like, are you kidding me? Do you see the roles these kids have to play in these movies? You put them in these
roles, and then you throw them together and treat them like adults. They're not handled like children at all.
Yeah.
And
everybody goes, oh, mental health is such a problem now. Well, no shit.
Yeah.
You know, you just had this kid in this horror film that's now jacked up for the rest of his life, you know, or her life, or
Not
whatever.
Only that, God only knows when you hear all these stories out of Hollywood and stuff like that of the shit they've done to kids. Like,
oh, yeah.
You know, that the executives and things like that, you're just like, why would anybody even want their children to be part of that?
Yeah. It blows me away. But, no, I would
What
I would
cartoons
have to say
are for.
that one of my all-time favorites is, well, obviously Gone in 60 Seconds. And then, I like a lot of Kevin James' stuff. He's one of those comedians that's not like, I don't know, to me, he's funny. Obviously he was on The King of Queens forever and a day.
Yeah, which was a great show.
Yeah.
It was. But if you say
like,
Paul Blart, I'm gonna disown you.
No, I liked Paul Blart. It was funny, but it never made one of my top 5 by any means. But his the one where he becomes a fighter.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
It's funny. It's pretty funny.
Is it?
Yeah. I think it's Here Comes the Boom or something like that. Yeah.
When you get into those, like the cheesy funny movies.
Yeah.
And then they always try to throw in kind of a moral point of view with it.
Well, they throw in a love story at the end.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
ultimately, every movie you ever watch is going to be a love story.
Yeah, it's some form of fashion. So like
You can do it with horror films. You can do it with, comedies.
Those
all
are
of Hallmark. That's all it is. So I mean, that's kind of what all movies are, is a love story. Just how do you want to get to that?
If I want to watch those movies, it's when the wife's like shopping or something. She just won't watch them. She's out. It's got to be.
Mine's kind of the same way. She's like, no, you can watch your stupid ass movies.
Yeah, my wife wants something smarter, I guess. Although I love them too, because there's a level when you I don't mind them, and a lot of times I watch because a lot of times when I'm going for entertainment, as much as I like smart stuff, sometimes I just kind of want to turn off a bit, and so I really don't want to have to overthink the thing. I just want to be
Sometimes
entertained.
I just want to giggle.
Right, I just want.
I love to giggle
at stupid shit too. I don't care if it's totally stupid shit. I'm just like same way. I'm just like yeah.
So for me, it's Gone in 60 Seconds, and then you have the original Fast and Furious, because at that point in time, it wasn't this long drawn out series of overthought bullshit. It was just a car movie, and it was great.
Right.
Not to say that I don't like the rest of them. The original, for me, that was the one.
Well, what's the movie with, it's not a car movie, but the one that got Denzel the best actor, him and Ethan Hawke played in it. Training Day.
Oh, okay.
I really like Training Day. It's one of those movies that pulls me in. And I actually, probably my favorite part in it is when it goes back to the whole moral thing, but Ethan Hawke is earlier in it, had helped the girl, right, beat off the bum or whatever was trying to like attack. It ended up with her wallet, right? And he pawns them off on the Mexicans to basically are going to kill him. And then they see he's got his fucking nieces or cousins or whatever wallet. Where'd you get this, right? They're about ready to blow his brains out in a bathtub, and she totally saves him.
Right.
You're like, oh, fuck.
Well, so, like, and I'm a big fan of Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan's good.
Okay, so, like, Shanghai Noon, Shanghai Night, those are good ones. Those are top teners for me.
Right.
The Lethal Weapons, those were, they're good. They're good, funny action,
I loved them at the time, but I'm sorry I can't support Mel Gibson anymore. And it kills me because I love those movies.
Well, yeah, because didn't he, like, have a mental breakdown? I just love the movie.
My guess is he's probably always been that guy, but because now it's so open, like, all about those things, and he just keeps going back to that well. Like, every time he goes away for a little bit, and you're like, oh, okay, and then they let him back in, and then you're like, oh, dude, just go away. Stop.
Yeah, spun out again.
Yeah. But, yeah, him and Danny Glover, like, that's a great scene in, is it the second one where Danny Glover's sitting on the toilet at the beginning?
Yeah, he's got to grab him and jump into the bathtub, and yeah. No, and so the Lethal Weapons were great movies. I love those. What was it? I just had it too. I just thought of it. Oh shit! Now I'm lost. But either way, you have your ones that stick out, like Varsity Blues or Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Those are good. I really liked, because I'm a baseball guy, I really liked 42.
I didn't actually watch 42.
You didn't?
Uh-uh.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Oh, I'm sure it's really good.
It's not funny. It's not. I mean,
No,
but it's a true.
It's a movie.
Deal. Yeah, and it's a great movie. And I think it was a great way to remember him. So and again, I like all the funny shit. Like,
oh yeah.
Chris Farley was one of. Dude, he's
Tommy
one of
Boy in Black Sheep.
God.
Tommy Boy is one of the funniest fucking movies you'll ever watch.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Do you know which way is the gym?
Yeah.
Oh, God, he pulled the gym line again.
Dude, I still do it to this day. I'll put on
housekeeping
all the time, like at work and stuff. I'll put on the like little coat and go, fat guy in a little coat.
Yeah. See, and I think you had to be a big fan of SNL. I mean,
you did, but
that was
the
hate SNL now.
That was the glory days of SNL when you had that time where it was Chris Farley, Adam Sandler, Chris Rock,
Dude, massive comedy icons.
yeah,
now,
that was the glory days of SNL. Jim Brewer,
Yep.
Norm Macdonald.
Yep.
Yeah, you can just keep listing them
Oh,
off.
yeah.
You're like,
Oh yeah.
oh shit.
And I think it was a funner version of comedy. Like that slapstick kind of hip fire comedy.
It was. Well, that version of SNL is what sparked Mad TV, and when you had that little run. Now SNL has survived all of those, but
Right, which, I mean, I'm surprised, but then again, now I watch it and I'm like, this is stupid. But it's not my era of comedy.
no,
I don't like it.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
But I think you have now where you didn't before. Well, stand-up's easier to find now. I think that's the hard part. You have less people, because if you look at
We have
SNL,
a ton of comedians.
right, but that's all they're doing. Now, if you look, that's really, I think, for a lot of big comedians back then, that was how you got to be a big comedian. You got on SNL, and then you could do.
That was the curtain call for you.
Right.
Was SNL. You got on SNL, you were gonna make a career out of what you were doing.
Yeah, you could. You
now
could do
I feel
something.
like it's just a thing.
It's
just another show that somebody can do, And to me, I also hate. I get that politics can be funny, like you making fun of the president, whatever. I just don't find it funny because they're all the same jokes. But once somebody becomes, Robin Williams, by far one of the top funny man, right? He makes fun of Biden before Biden ever, and he's like, oh, rambling Joe Biden, right? And it was funny, but now he's president, and I'm like,
wait a second,
it
that's
wouldn't
not
be
funny.
as funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since now you're like, oh my God. You're like, this guy was made fun of way before now, and now it's like, oh shit, and it just, to me, when they go politics, it's like, I don't give a shit about your politics or your show's politics. I don't find it funny.
So
I find fart jokes funny. I don't find talking about the president having to wear a toupee funny. I don't, but before Trump was president, that was funny.
So one of the best, I think, for me, one of the best political comedians, he's an angry comic anyway, is Louis Black. But if somebody's going to start going political, he does pretty decent. But he's just so angry.
Right.
But the way he does it, he has a great bit about if he was president, he would... He'd basically just carry around Reagan's head. Like, he would go, like, he was like...
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, he's like, I would be the scariest motherfucker in the whole world, right?
Right, yeah.
He was...
carrying around Reagan's head.
Oh, he's got a great bit, too, about, like, if he was ultra wealthy or, like, if he could have anything, he would have a personal ball washer. That would be the level of, like, I'm this bad at, I have somebody solely to wash my balls.
Yeah.
Think about it. I mean, you walk in any room and as a status symbol, people are like, I've got $1 billion home, I've got this, I've been to space, I've got this. But if you were like, meet Mary here, she's my personal ball washer, everybody in that room would be like, what the fuck? How'd you get there? Wait, what?
What? How much does that job pay?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
Jesus, I want one of those. No, you can talk about all kinds of different movies, but for me, those like big funnies, that's what makes me happy. I like to giggle when I watch movies.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit there and be serious and sometimes I do. Like I said, 42 is a great movie. I know there's some places in the movie, just like any other true story, it's not how it played out.
Oh, yeah.
But it's Hollywood, and so they're going to play it out the best way they can.
You're never going to get all the right versions.
Right. You're just not going to get, unless you're sitting down with the person who lived it telling you the story.
Well, and nobody wants to be truly honest about it, right? They're
Right.
all going to shade whatever version to show them in the best light. If they were part of it and they're talking about it, very few people are going to sit down and be like, no, I did this, and no, I did that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm a horrible fucking person.
Right.
Although, speaking of shows like that, there was a show where they went to and talked to people in prison, like who they went and talked to the people who.
It
like,
was
were
the
part
start of NCIS, I think, or not NCIS, but Criminal Minds, where they went and they actually talked to serial killers and learned what was happening.
Well,
in their
there
brain.
was that, but no, there was another show where you would talk. They would talk to people who, like, the drunk driver who killed somebody, like things like that, where it's like the other side of the coin. Like, it's still because there's another perspective. It's interesting. I mean, you still don't necessarily feel bad for them because they did something shitty.
Yeah,
but,
well, no, but you get to see the hard mental battle that they fight after it. Yeah,
right.
That's why they say that being on death row is worse than actually being put out of your misery.
Well, yeah, because you're waiting to die.
Yeah, and every day you play that shit in your head. But they did a documentary or some shit on a serial killer, and they were asking him all the hard questions, and it was like, dude, those are raw answers, and they're just like rough to listen to.
Oh, have you ever seen? They've done the guy who's interviewed like John Wayne Gacy.
I haven't.
Oh, same thing. He was the one they found. He liked to dress up like the clown, do the kid deals, but he liked young boy or not adolescent boys, but he liked young men, and they found he had the crawl space full of young men, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've interviewed him. But most of those guys are so narcissistic, it's still so justified in their head. Like,
oh yeah.
But what's so brilliant about a lot of them is they have a charisma that they pull people in. So like even in doing those interviews, they're pretty good at damn near taking the person doing the interview and shifting the narrative to make them seem like not such a bad guy.
Right.
Even though you're like,
well, there's a podcast called Small Town Murder, and these guys basically give you all of the background, right? They tell you where the guy came from, they tell you, like, in that day and age, when it happened, they tell you what house values were and all the populations and all that, right?
right.
And they do an amazing job at making you kind of giggle through the whole thing, but at the same point in time, explaining to you just how fucked up these people were.
Oh yeah,
dude, and they do a great job. If anybody listening gets a chance to listen to Small Town Murder, it's great. It is. It's a good one. And
I'll have to. I wonder if my wife's. She loves those kind of things, so
yeah,
I'll have to recommend it to her. She was telling me about one, and I'll have to get the title again. This guy did like I think it's called the listener line or something like that, or listening line. And I haven't listened to it yet, and I want to listen to some. Apparently, though, this guy, and I don't know which city or what, but he created a kind of like an art project, but the idea was it was like a confessional line. People call into this line and just leave a message, and it's like a confession. They can say whatever they want.
Right.
And it goes through those and plays those recordings and things like that.
So almost like a confessional, you go into the church and confess or
right.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what time frame this was set up in, but they're playing the recordings from that. And there's things like, this person gets like death threats to it. And I mean, really, yeah. So it sounds quite interesting, to say the least. So it's definitely something that I want to check out and
right.
hear some of it, because I'm sure some of it just sparks interesting, that interesting thought process of like, what the fuck?
Right.
Right.
So let's kind of veer off. Do you have and I love these, do you have a conundrum question?
Oh, well, yeah. I've got all sorts of conundrum questions. Like, don't slam your junk in the toilet seat. It's going to hurt.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just good advice. I mean, that's,
I do. If we want to go conundrum question, we can do that. Let's see.
And dead air.
Yeah. All right. Here you go. Why are builders afraid to have a 13th floor, but book publishers aren't afraid to have a chapter 11? Right?
Yeah.
Because there are buildings that they leave the 13th floor out.
Yeah, it skips 12 to 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but there's a lot of people that don't like the number 13.
See, and I embrace it. I
I know
absolutely love
you're
it.
the guy who's like, oh, I like 13, you know?
Well, but part of
But-
that's the actual, my birthday is the 13th.
Right.
So, I don't know how to do this on yours.
Oh, you just
We hit our hour.
yeah, you just leave it sit. And
Or
then-
hit, what, do you share the video?
yeah, but I gotta type in all the crap after that. So
All right. So,
I
anyway.
just wait till the podcast is over and then I do it.
Yeah, and I'm not the only one that embraces 13. I mean, everybody's given it some sort of meaning, right?
Well, it's
so you've
like
got
superstition.
This, yeah,
you know, I mean,
you've got the superstitious side where everybody's going to be afraid of it. Oh, Friday the 13th and this or that.
Right.
And then you got the flip side where everybody embraces it. For me personally, it's my birth date,
right.
and so I've embraced it. I just like the number 13.
Right.
I actually happen to like the number 11 too.
Well, because for me, and I bring that up because your softball number is 13.
Oh,
Your
absolutely.
jersey number. Mine will always be 69 because I am stuck in high school to the point where it's like that's the
That's the one you're going to giggle and laugh at. Oh, yeah, absolutely. No. Well, and that's what I said, though. If I had to do the other one, if 13, I'd want 0, and I'd want it to say Agent 0 just because,
Right.
to me, that's badass. But I don't think I have near the talent or the level to really uphold that.
See, if it was me, I would want one that I would want the name on the back that says Snake Eyes and then has the 11, right? Like that.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But it's funny to me that because now it's like a thing to be, less superstitious. Like if you're superstitious, people make fun of you and whatever, and that's great.
Right.
I do the same thing when I'm,
Well,
my race car. I couldn't have. Red for me was like no, it was a bad deal because I was gonna either hit the wall or play shitty or whatever, and
So
so I've always hated red.
your most superstitious people in the world are athletes.
Oh yeah,
Even if your level of athleticism was just playing, Little League in high school, if you're actively engaged in athletics or you're a huge fan of athletics, you're probably superstitious
oh yeah.
and slightly
Yeah.
OCD.
Yeah, because I can tell you right now, I'm superstitious about a lot of things when it comes to playing softball now. I can't wear a batting glove in my mitt when I'm in the field. I can't do it. That to
Right.
me is just marking me as that's what's going to cause me to fail everything. I'm going to be horrible. I'm not going to catch the ball. I can't throw the ball. That whole thing. So I don't do it. Can't do it. Mentally, there's a blockage there. It's like, don't you dare stick your hand in your mitt with that glove on.
Wow.
And that's how you actually, I believe,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
I actually, if I don't have the batting glove, I'm like,
exactly. So, and it's funny, and we one year got shirts for softball, and I wouldn't wear it. And everybody was like, "Why don't you wear your team shirt?" And I'm like, "Because it has red on it. I won't wear it." It's no, I don't. We had a horrible season. It was bad. I was like, "No, red."
Yeah, I'm out.
NASCAR drivers try to put lime green anything on anybody's car. They will not know. Like if your logo is lime green, you will have to change it to go on the car because the driver won't drive the car.
Why?
Lime green is just a bad. To me, you would want to be more visible, right? You don't want them to come
Right.
up the track on you. But at the same point in time, 90% of people will hit the bright orange cone.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I could see that. And to me, superstition is like, I love hearing about all of them.
Oh,
right? 'Cause
yeah.
I have my own set that I'm just like, nope, can't do it, right? And so I hear these people are like, oh, your logo's lime green? Not going on my car. Tony Stewart actually is one. They painted lime green on his car one time, and he wrecked, and it was a big deal. And yeah, so that's one of the big ones. Or like up until I don't remember when it was, but the women on a boat or like weird. You can't have bananas on the boat.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And even still today, there's guys that they won't let you get onto the boat with certain things in your, you know, we went and did one of those fishing trips.
Right.
On the ocean, and I don't remember what happened. One of the guys went to get onto the boat, and something he had with him, they were like, no, that's got to go.
Damn.
You can't have that. And he's like, why is that? And he's like, you want to catch 0 fish today? That's how we're going to do it. Get that off of my boat. And he, like, got it off the boat, and they had to do some, like, I don't know, prayer or
They're
whatever.
burning the
but,
sage,
dude,
gotta smudge the room.
No, and they were, and that's, I get that. I mean, that's an ultimate fear. We're going to be out on the open water, and,
Shit's
you
gonna
know,
go
this
wrong.
could kill us. Yeah. So I can see that a little bit more.
It's a little
NASCAR,
aggressive.
yeah,
but,
you're doing 200 miles an hour, lime green being on your car, causing you to crash. That's not going to be, I mean, think about it. Dale Earnhardt died in the car, you know, or died due to accident in the car. So, I mean, I get it. Playing fat beer league softball, I have no idea why I have this. It's just, but they're there.
Yeah. Well, it just comes from doing athletics as a kid and everything else. You just you get into habits, you get into things, and if it works, you're like, you keep doing it till it doesn't work.
Right. No, I mean,
and if something bad happens when you have it, you're like, nope, no, can't do that anymore.
Yep. Yeah. No, I mean, I had long hair all the way through this last softball season because it was like I was going to go get a haircut and we won. And I was like, there's no way we're going to win. We're just going to go play and have fun. And we won. And I was like, well, I'm not getting a haircut. So then we played the next week and we won. And we didn't lose until we made it 3/4 of the way through the season. And then at that point, I just didn't have time to go get a haircut. And so we squeezed as much luck out of that haircut as we could. But, you know, I mean...
We made it to the championship game on your hair, Brock.
Yep, that was it. You know, nipple long beard and long girl hair, as everybody... you know?
I get it. I mean, I totally... I get the superstition thing. I am
Have you ever seen somebody do the lucky rabbit's foot thing? Or like the lucky underwear?
I think I played into the lucky rabbit's foot thing once upon a time. I haven't in a long time. The underwear thing I've heard of, but so
I don't have a pair of underwear I love that much.
Yeah, me neither. Like I've got nothing that I'm like, no. And I'm a freshie every day. There wouldn't be there's none of this.
Oh yeah, and there was guys.
It would cause me more problems. Like if that would be the worst was if I had to reuse a pair of underwear.
Oh God.
I would be like, no, we're freeballing this shit.
My thing is like the guys who won't wash certain things, won't wash a jersey, won't wash, socks or whatever. And I'm like, dude, I can't wear a pair of socks twice. Ain't happening. No. Well, I mean, I can wear them twice, but they got to be washed first.
Yeah.
You know.
You're not going to wear dirty socks over and over and over again.
Exactly.
No, I'm with you.
God, that is so bad. Like some of the guys, and you're just like, dude. I'm not even going in the locker room until you burn those socks. Like, quit. That is gross.
At this point, it's not even. They're not salvageable. They're garbage.
Yeah. So no, I've seen it. It's not worth it. My favorite one was the guys who like football.
Yeah.
You know, if they win, they won't change anything, right?
Yeah.
So the next day they have a beard, and then like you always see them and they're baby faced, and you're like, wow, that's good. And then you see them at the end of the season and they have freaking huge old beard and everything. You're like, where did this guy come from? Well, they were winning. They had a great year. They were winning and winning.
Everything's going right. I'm not fucking. I'm not fucking up this train.
I've worn a football helmet with a beard. The chin strap alone, just grinding your beard into your chin is horrible.
Yeah, it doesn't look comfortable.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, as a guy who has a beard 100% of the time, I'm just like, oh no, By the way, I think Rodgers needs a haircut. That just doesn't look good at all.
Yeah, he just, yeah. Him doing the whole, like, bohemian, hippie-ish.
Yeah.
It's like, fucking cut your hair, hippie. Go play football. I mean, I'm sorry. Football's not a place for hippies. It's just not.
Right. Is it? I'm like, dude.
Go
cut
play
your hair,
basketball
man.
and smoke weed with the rest of them. I mean, if you want to go be a hippie, go play basketball. So, on that note, pick a number between 81 and 101, and we'll do a Would You Rather.
We're going to go with my birth year, 92.
All right. Would you rather ask your ex or a total stranger for a favor?
Total stranger. I mean, that's just simple. You know there's going to be some payback for something that yeah, I'm going total stranger because at least then, and I don't like to ask for favors in the first place.
Right.
Like, it's a shot to my pride. I like being proud of the fact that I'm building my family. I'm doing that on my own.
I don't need somebody else to help me do that.
Exactly. You know, I mean, half the time I'm scared to ask my wife for a favor.
Yeah, I
She still loves me, apparently.
Right?
So it's like,
I'm no different. I'm like, I could do the total stranger. I wouldn't ask my ex for shit, even though
right.
I don't have a lot of exes, so at this point in my life, it'd probably be fine. They'd probably be like, why are you contacting me after 20 years?
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
This must be one hell of a favor.
Yeah, right. No, and I couldn't. That is, and it could be something stupid, you know. Oh, he dented my car or whatever it was that they have stored up somewhere. If they ever run across you again, they're just gonna slam in your face, and you ask them for a favor.
Well,
That's the mix-ins for a bad deal.
I think you're more apt to get a favor out of a total stranger anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and especially nowadays where everybody help your fellow man. You know.
Well, I just think the reason I think you do is there's no preconceived notion, right? You just don't know each other, so it's more on a level of you don't have anything against that person. You don't have a reason to not do them a favor.
Right.
So it's like, oh yeah, I'll help you. You know, pending the favor, obviously. But
right. I'm not killing somebody for anybody.
Right. You know.
I mean, except for like family.
Yeah.
You know, you do something wrong to who I choose to call family. I mean,
I might drive the getaway car, but it all depends on the take, right? You know, like
I want to know what the haul is first.
You know, we can part ways. We can go our separate ways, and I can keep a secret, but it's got to be mutually beneficial at that point.
Yeah. Have you seen the videos where it's like, this guy came up and told me he'd give me a beer for a blowjob or whatever, right? And he's like, what? He's like, yeah. And last time I seen him, and then they point past the camera holding the beer. He was going that way, you know. And you're like, oh my god.
No shit, right? Oh, that's good.
I think my favorite one, it was a concealed carry deal.
Right.
And there was these two guys, and I don't know if it's just a made-up whatever, but it was funny. And it's this older guy, and he's like, I was coming out to my truck, and these two guys were sitting on the tailgate of this pickup, and one of them got off the tailgate and was like, you know, give me that case of beer. And he was like, no, I'm not. You know, with coronavirus and stuff now, we're not supposed to be within 6 feet of each other and that kind of thing, so I need you to back up, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, he called him an old fart or whatever, and he's like, but the last time I seen the boys, they were running over that hill right there, and he pulls his gun up and points with his gun. I was like, that's funny shit.
Yeah.
You know? And to me, it's so funny because, you know, now when people make their marks, it's the old person, right? That's who's going to give you the money or send you the check. Or
yeah, that's who they're going
rip
after.
off, right?
Yeah.
Because they genuinely want to help people.
Yeah.
Like, today's kids, get one of today's kids to help you with shit.
Well, no.
Unless he actually has a good background, ain't happening. The kid's like, what's in it for me? Well, you know, there's always a tit for tat type of deal. And
well, we've taught them that as a society.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm one of those guys that if I see somebody having a rough day, I'll try to make their day better. I'm not going to go, you know, I'm not going to go to their house and, all this other stuff and go past where I need to go. But I will try to make somebody giggle. Maybe that takes, the 5 minutes to listen to maybe a bad joke, but it makes them realize, oh, not everything's horrible, Or if somebody's broke down on the side of the road, I'll stop. If you're in a spot where it's like you're not getting help anytime soon, I'll stop. I normally have a gun. I normally have protected myself.
Right.
But I'll still stop and make sure everybody's okay.
Yeah. I always listen. Like, I'm the guy who will listen. I had a guy the other day. I called him to tell him his parts were here, and he starts going on about his Sirius satellite not working in his, like, Subaru or something, and I just let him go. And then at the end, I said, well, I'm sorry, I won't be much help for that. I really don't know, and I hope you get help, but I just wanted to tell you your parts are here. And he's like, oh, I thought you were the serious guy. He's like, well, thanks for listening. And I said, yeah, I mean, I hope you get it worked out, but...
Yeah. Well, and that to me, you still need to have that, like, willingness to be a good person.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I'm a complete menace to society and all of that other good fun stuff, I will still stop and help and, do whatever I can to make somebody's day better. And that all in itself is just kind of, and it's not even for me. It's just to make sure that, somebody else's day isn't total shit.
Well,
there was
it is
5
for you
minutes
because it makes you feel better if they feel better.
Most of the time, it don't end up like that, but,
Wow.
because my jokes aren't all that great.
Wow. I don't know. It goes back, I always say, and people are inherently selfish. So even the kindest things we do are still for ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, and you have to put that out there. I mean, it is ultimately to make you feel better about making somebody else feel better.
Right.
The thing that I like...
But it'd be nice if more people wanted to feel better
be that selfish
by making other people feel better.
Because like I said, nowadays, shit, you run into a kid just out of high school or in high school or whatever, are you shitting me? You're not getting anywhere without giving them money or whatever, following their Instagram page or whatever, because that's their, they want you to do that for them. It's always I need to get something out of this.
Yeah.
Where just feeling good about helping somebody isn't the thing anymore.
Well, yeah, but social etiquette has gone out the window because we don't have to face-to-face interact.
Right.
And
oh, yeah, we call them keyboard warriors all the time.
Yeah.
You think half of these people on the internet would talk as much shit if they were toe-to-toe with you? God, no.
No.
Hell no.
To have actual face-to-face confrontation, there's a small percentage of people in the world really willing for face-to-face confrontation.
Right.
Most of them don't want any part of it.
Yeah. No, and most of the ones that you run into now, it's because they had some sort of mind-altering substance that made them ballsy enough to call you out on whatever it is not on the internet.
Yeah, you're like, what drugs are you on?
Yeah. And it's funny because there's like, okay, so real life incident, one of the guys that I've met him once or twice, the guy sits in a razor and can shake the razor. He's a big boy,
right.
And he's maybe 15% body fat.
Oh, shit.
He's a big boy, right?
Right.
Did something wrong in his pickup, went down the drag strip, axle does the walkie-walk,
right,
and folds underneath the truck, right? Guys went nuts just talking shit online, and I'm like, why don't you go say that to his face?
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
No.
You're gonna walk up to that guy and go, wow,
he could pummel me.
I think your pec is about as big as my torso. You know?
No shit.
I mean, he was a big boy, and it's just like, yeah, if all of you knew who you were talking smack about, I'm like, you wouldn't do it in his face. Yeah. Not a chance in hell.
I had a poor Taco Bell manager have to come to the window or the drive-through window for me the other night, and I wasn't in the greatest of moods because I had to go back because they gave me the wrong fucking order. And then after they gave me the wrong order, and I had already made it home, my fault, didn't check the bag, come back, I'm like, and I go back to the drive-thru, hey, I got the wrong order, you know, they're like, what can we do for you? I'm like, give me the right food. And I go through, and I get about, he's like, what'd you have? And I get like two or three items in, and she's like, oh, yeah, I remember. Just pull up to the window. I'm like, okay. I get up there. Well, they gave me the 2 or 3 I listed off, not the whole fucking order that was wrong. And I started to pull off. I'm like, wait a second. Check the bag. It's wrong. Back up, because nobody's in the drive-thru, right? Mm-hmm. And you can see the look on their faces like, oh, fuck. They go get the manager. And it's just, I'm sure she can handle herself just fine. But it's this poor young girl walks up there, and I can just see the look of terror in her eye, like, this guy's about to rip my fucking head off. And she's like, I'm like, I just want my food, right? Here, you have my receipt in your hands of, I got the soda. I just want the right food.
Right.
It's 11. It's damn near 11 o'clock at night. I've had a long fucking day. I just want the right stuff. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to be nice, but I'm not going to yell at you. Just give me the right shit. But yeah, she just had, and you can see, but being younger, you can see that. I know how somebody older would have reacted, because there was an older person there working the drive-thru, and they gave me the look of, yeah, sorry, we fucked up. But they didn't have the look of fear. They were just like, yeah, we fucked up. We'll make it right, you know. And so there was a little bit of that compatibility, but because this younger one, you can tell, just doesn't have to deal with face-to-face having, it was like this fear. And yeah, I'm sure I didn't look the nicest. I had an upset look, but at no point did I raise my voice or yell. But she was just waiting to just have me go full Karen on
but
her.
that's how everybody reacts now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't get my 2 tacos and Crunchwrap Supreme. I'm going to pull back through here and light someone up, you know. That's how they all do it. I watched a dude freak out at a Taco Bell, freaked out on the lady at the window, and threw his drink back through the window. And all I wanted to do was rear end the piss out of this guy.
Yeah, people make mistakes. I was getting quite annoyed that we were 2 in. Like, you didn't take the time to ensure that we...
Strike number 2.
Yeah, we fixed the first fuck up. Now I'm coming back for... number 3 here. I'm annoyed.
Yeah. I get it.
But again, I'm not going to yell at you. I'm just get me my right shit.
Yeah.
And I want to go home. But yeah, throwing shit. Going full blown.
Dumb.
Yeah, asshole on people.
Watched a video, a guy flip out on somebody in the inside the store, like flipped out and like threw stuff and everything, and I'm like, that cashier should have the right to reach across the counter and just smack you in the face. Like, this is not how you should act. And now that's just how it is.
Knock it the fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've told people to calm down. Like, hey, chill. You're making an ass out of yourself. And, like, they didn't deserve... Yeah, everybody makes a mistake. You don't need to lose your shit on somebody.
Word of advice, this will probably fix itself a whole lot faster if you calm the fuck down.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, it's like, what the hell is wrong with you? To lose your shit on somebody because they made a mistake. You ever made a mistake? I'm sure that in the X amount of years you've been doing your job, you've probably made a mistake.
Oh, I didn't tell you what I threatened all my guys with the other day.
I love it when you tell me this, too, because it's here we go.
Well... So I made the comment about the easiest way to diffuse an angry person. Like if you put if there are mirrors behind you, people won't yell at you because they can see their face, right? They can see what they look like, and it bothers people. It'll calm them down because they can see what a tyrannical.
Well, it's like me with this stinking live shit. I'm just like,
right, yeah, right. You can see yourself.
Yeah.
It's different, and my threat, though, was to put a wall of mirrors on the other side so they could see their faces they treat customers.
Right.
So they could see how, dumb
you
they look at times.
You have one of them that it's like, how do you greet customers with that look on your face?
Well, right. That you guys can see at the same time how you're responding to them, what they get to see. And I guarantee you'd probably change how you do it.
Well, yeah, and that's the, I mean, I don't know. I worked for you for a while, and I never understood that greeting somebody with just a crap look on your face. Like, it was always about, hey, have a smile on your face. Be happy. Be glad you're here.
Well,
you know?
No, I don't. You don't even need that. Where again, though, that the loss of social interaction. That's the big thing is we don't socially interact. So you haven't been taught to.
Well, that's just because the bad apple tree has gotten so much bigger.
I don't know if that's the case. I just think we are just ignorant as a society. And ignorance is just not knowing. They just don't know any better. Nobody's taught them any better.
Well, yeah, but they've all been taught the other direction, too. There's so many bad people out there that you can't,
Well, right, but that goes back to social interaction. Everybody does everything so much online and stuff. And yes, you're interacting. I get that. But as far as, like, actual present interaction
You can't block somebody standing in front of you.
Right, unless you have to go to the store with your parents and see how they interact. You're not taught.
Yeah. Well, nobody likes taking their kids to the store anymore.
No, they don't. And because they have so many other ways to babysit them, and they don't want to go, they don't want to leave, so they don't see strangers interacting with strangers, right? So
yeah.
They just don't see that. So you lose. There becomes this bluntness. They just don't understand how to put the smile on and.
Well, and yeah, most of your staff is what, younger than 30?
Oh yeah,
I think almost all of your staff is younger than 30.
I only have a handful of 2 or 3 people that are above that. And,
yeah.
And no, it shows he hate to say it, but yeah, people under 30 in this, it's just different. They don't.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I'm right there. I'm not 30 until April, and it's funny to me, but I always had that, like, go to the store with my mom.
Well, it depends on how you grew up, though. That's a lot of it, and that's most of the time where I'll tell you it's easier sometimes face-to-face interact with people from rural areas because there's still a level in rural areas where you do get social interaction, right? Even your younger people get social interaction. I think it changes things, but people from very densely populated and city areas, it's very impersonal. It's, it does. It becomes kind of blunt and everybody's doing their thing and it's like, don't bother me. Just,
right.
They don't want to interact.
Yeah.
There's not, come in, sit down, have a cup of coffee. They don't want to know the person across from them. Just give me my shit and let me go. Well, that has its place, but it also costs us a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's, you lose a lot of opportunity just by the emotion you wear on your face.
Oh, yeah.
If
somebody watch out and you have resting bitch face, which everybody has now these days.
Oh, yeah.
They're man, woman, child,
Oh, my God. I have to deal with it with my wife all the time because she does. And,
yeah, a lot of us do.
I mean, whatever.
Dude, I see my resting face a lot, and I can see where I might not be the most approachable person, but typically, though, when I approach somebody, my facial expression changes, right? I put on the smile,
Yeah. Well, I mean, just your regular ass interaction with somebody, you're like, and the funny part with you is it's kind of blank, and then you see where the conversation is going, and then you're like, oh, and then you go that way, or you react appropriately, and nowadays everybody's so blank faced that it's like I don't know whether the joke was funny or if you're offended or I don't know because.
Well, they just look lost. They don't know how to. You feel like you're talking to a wall. They just don't know how to react.
Right.
My favorite thing in the world to do is walk by and smile at kids.
Oh, yeah.
Little kids, because so many people don't interact with them. They're just there with their parents. And you don't even have to say a word. If you just walk, you make eye contact with them and just smile at them and walk off, their faces light up and brighten for just mere acknowledgement.
Yeah.
And that's one of the funnest things to do is you give them just kind of that little sly smile, almost like it's an inside joke, and they're just like, hee.
Well, and it's funny, too, because kids are such a burden to people who don't have kids.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, like, you take your kid, you go to the store or whatever, and there's that one person, and the kid's standing in the wrong spot or whatever, goofing off, doing whatever kids do, and they're super annoyed with it. I've been told in the store to leash my child. And I'll tell you right now, the one thing that will get a rise out of me more than anything in the world is say anything stupid to me about my kid, because that's when you're going to get the Brock that nobody wants to see. That's when I become the asshole.
Right.
And that to me is your intolerance of other people. Are you shitting me? You're about to be really intolerant of what's going to happen, because I'm going to start talking about the things you're either wearing, your haircut, your face, whatever. Yeah, no, because one of my favorite ones is I can always look at them and go, I can train my child better, but how do they fix you? And that to me, oh man, I had that same guy that told me to leash my child. Probably not the most.
Did you tell him you were about to muzzle him?
Not kinda.
Not in those words.
In a way, yeah. He hit me with the "you need to leash your child," and I said, "She's just being a kid, man. Like, I'm sorry, I'll get her out of the way for you, but she's just being a kid." And he goes, "That's no excuse." I said, "Well, there's really no excuse for you to run your jawbone like you are, but since you want to play that tune, I can fire up the old fist guitar, and we can rock out." And he kind of like looked at me like totally lost, because some of the shit I say in the grocery store to people, they're like, what the fuck did he just say? But it makes you think about it for a real quick second before you get your ass beat.
Right.
Because growing up, watching my dad and everything, like, you are as sincere as possible until it gets to the point where it's like, there's no more being nice.
Right.
And so I have that tolerance. Kids run into me in the grocery store, and I'm like, oh, no big deal, because I get it. I am still a big child and will eventually bump into somebody screwing around in the grocery store.
Well, right, and it's how they learn. It's how you learn.
Dude, and they're kids.
Yeah.
They don't know any better. They don't know that you've had a crappy day or you just got divorced and you're looking for eggs or what. They don't know that. They don't have any idea. And here you are being a jackass. I ran into a handful of them, and my kid doesn't act bad by any means in the grocery store. She's great. She'll talk to people.
Yeah. High energy, but people can't handle high energy.
Yeah.
They're like,
no, they freak out.
What's going on?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, man. But that to me, that's the one you're gonna catch a rise out of me when you start targeting my kid.
Right.
And that's where it's like, all right, buddy, I hope you brought your big boy panties, because you're gonna need to put them on, and I'm pretty much guessing you brought your lunch. Did you bring your lunch? Because this is gonna be a day's work right here. I mean, and I'm not the biggest of guys, but I ain't as scared of somebody telling me what to do with my kid.
Right.
Like, that's not. You want to target my child? That means you didn't have the balls to target me. Let's do this. Not afraid to dance in aisle 4. All right.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of dances and tunes, we're about to tone this one down, but it's been a good one. And follow us, like us, share us with your friends, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, everything. You name it. We've got something, so pushing.
We've got something. Whether it's a good something or not, well, we got something.
Or whether we know what the fuck we're doing. But we're trying. So, as always, we appreciate you. Thank you, and good night.